This is VOA News. I'm Marissa Melton. Hong Kong police used tear gas to disperse the thousands of pro-democracy activists gathered in a shopping district late Sunday afternoon. The demonstrators had come to protest against what they see as China's creeping interference in Hong Kong since the territory was returned to Beijing by Britain in 1997. Earlier Sunday afternoon, some demonstrators marched to the American consulate to thank the United States for newly signed bipartisan legislation supporting the Hong Kong pro-democracy activists. Some activists carried banners reading, "President Trump, please liberate Hong Kong and let's make Hong Kong great again." British Prime Minister Boris Johnson says he will toughen sentences for people convicted of violent crimes and terrorism if he wins the national election this month. Reuters' Emer McCarthy reports.
With just under 2 weeks until UK voters head to the polls, security has become one of the election campaign's pressing topics. That comes after a man convicted of terrorism and released early from prison killed 2 people in London on Friday before being shot dead by police. Prime Minister Boris Johnson's Conservative Party have long championed tough police and prison measures, but opposition parties have criticised the governing party for overseeing almost a decade of cuts to public services. 3 people remain in hospital, 2 of them in a stable condition after Friday's attack.
That's Reuters' Emer McCarthy reporting. A regional bus in Tunisia has crashed off a hill Sunday, killing 22 people. The Interior Ministry says 21 additional passengers are being treated at nearby hospitals. Russian emergency officials say 19 people died Sunday when their bus plunged off a bridge. This is VOA News. The House Intelligence Committee is wrapping up the investigation phase of its impeachment inquiry into the U.S. President Donald Trump. A Tuesday evening meeting is planned to vote on the report. Then the House Judiciary Committee will take the lead as the Democratic-led House pushes closer to a possible vote on charges against President Trump. Democratic Representative Val Demings, appearing on ABC's This Week, says there are no set plans for witnesses who may be called to future Judiciary Committee hearings.
We have not really made the decision on future hearings or future witnesses yet. I think our main focus right now is to have the president and his counsel, who you know are given the same privileges as President Nixon and President Clinton had, to participate and engage in this impeachment process.
Appearing on the same program, Republican Representative Tom McClintock says Republicans should be allowed to call any and all witnesses they want.
In a free society, the prosecution doesn't get to choose what witnesses the defense wishes to call. And yet that's what's been going on in the Intelligence Committee. And again, the question is going to be whether Jerry Nadler continues that sham in the judiciary hearings. When it goes over to the Senate, that's going to play a big role, I think, in the Senate's deliberations. They, I think, will insist on full due process rights, and that could blow up in the Democrats' faces.
Mr. Trump has denied any wrongdoing, calling the impeachment inquiry a witch hunt. A tiny wooden relic that some Christians believe to be part of Jesus' manger has arrived in its permanent home in the biblical city of Bethlehem, 1,400 years after it was sent to Rome as a gift to the Pope. AP correspondent Sarah Bassett reports.
Young Palestinian scouts played bagpipes and cheerful crowds greeted the ornately encased relic with fanfare. The silver reliquary holding the thumb-sized wooden piece was then taken to the Franciscan Church of St. Catherine next to the Church of Nativity, the West Bank holy site where tradition says Jesus was born. The return of the relic by the Vatican was a spirit-lifting moment for the Palestinians, a small minority of whom are Christian. It coincides with Advent, a 4-week period leading up to Christmas. Troubled Bethlehem in the Israeli-occupied West Bank is preparing for the occasion, where pilgrims from around the world flock to the city. I'm Sarah Bassett.
Unknown gunmen opened fire on a church in eastern Burkina Faso Sunday, killing at least 14 people. Officials say the attack took place in the town of Hantakora, near the border with Niger. Soldiers are hunting for the attackers. They fled on motor scooters after gunning down worshippers during a Sunday mass. No one has claimed responsibility, but Islamic extremists are suspected. Marissa Melton, VOA News.